Welcome. So today we're going to speak on how well does your garden, the inner garden, grow. So it's a spiritual insight through garden. And we often sort of sing in the nursery rhyme, how does your garden grow? With jingle bells and cocoa shells and pretty maids all in a row. Now, we have sung the nursery rhymes as we grew up and all that, but how much do we really understand about the outer garden and the inner garden? There's so much of spiritual knowledge out there just in that wonder. So, if we look closely at our body whilst we are living all the time, if we're just going to focus on that noise, problems, this, that, we will never come to see the wonder of this nature. So it's time to really sort of readjust our lives. And, this situation in the world is making us go out into the nature. So we don't want to miss this essence, and get too carried away with the noise. So the way to read things is right here. It is so alive. And we just need to align with the nature to sort of see it. So nature is so disciplined. We know that because when we wake up at about 5 in the morning, I wake up and the whole orchestra is at play. Evening, you see again, there is a lot of chirping going on as the birds, go to sleep. And night, we can see that we hardly hear any of it. There's deep silence in nature. But the humans have forgotten this. We seem to sort of wake up anytime, we go to sleep rather late, and, we've completely not quite kind of aligned with nature. And when we do, we find there is a celestial shore. It's unveiling. That magic is unveiling, and it is so beautiful. And we often say the entrepreneurs, the artists, the designers, they are constantly out in nature to really see, what next stuff they can bring on shore. So a lot of creativity they bring from the nature, and it's a beautiful way to pick up ideas from there. So message of God is always reflected fully. It's an expression of love, and it's everywhere in his specimens out there in the garden or in the wilderness of the nature. So now we must really cultivate as we live, more and more. Life is passing, and we really need to bring this heavenly nature within. And the Persians were the first ones, they always sort of saw that that was a sacred space and it was a paradise, and there was healing there as well. So they looked a lot outside to heal in that nature. So our garden, we kind of think we are nurturing the garden, but really the garden is nurturing us. And like walking bare feet, feeling the five elements is the best thing ever. A lot of people we see, constantly in their shoes, they have never really felt the sand, grass, nothing. But, it start to relive and really explore, because that is the human's highest pleasure, really, is to really feel that and see the joy in all the elements, how it is. So all adventure and experiments on this limitless landscape, we must come to explore and see and enjoy. So mind must be tended very carefully, just like the garden, and water daily, remove the poison, whatever the poison is, whoever said whatever they said, just remove it, and have that inspiration going and restore, to add life really to this years, and not sort of live a very long life but have nothing to experience. That's not how we want to live. We really want to be very exploring in this. And everything we notice, in this nature, nothing is static, everything is changing, moving, evolving. And we seem to want to stay in comfort a lot. And, now little adjustment here and there, have reflecting time every evening and see that where I can explore a bit more, and yeah, which weeds I can remove in my life as well. So all that mind play nonsense, always conflicting and drowning, all those are weeds and they must really go. So what's a life cycle like? It's like the seeds. From the seeds, when we sort of really nourish, and that we grow, and then it flowers, and then it fruits. So this is like wisdom. So what is distracting us from this whole cycle is, not letting us really go fully towards the grace. And it's a lot of observation to sort of say, right, I must now stop this distraction, look at some of the habits, and take it away, so then I can pollinate sooner, fearlessly. And we can even see in the garden, what are the stones doing? They are bringing solitude. They're not moving, they're really still, and bringing that solitude. Again, looking at the trees, it's giving shade, it's rooted. So much to really learn from it. And what's the soil like? Do I want to be really rigid, or um, soft and light? So that is the mind. And again, the fruits, we have to see, this was the highest wisdom parted to me a few years ago, which said that in the ancient times, they never pick the fruit. It's like they allow it to drop onto the net which they have tied. So by the time when the fruit drops, that is the day the nature wants us to eat, because that is the fruit gift given to us. So nowadays, of course, we think we are so scientifically advanced that we can pick the fruits whilst they're raw. Come on, quickly pick, package it really well, air freight it, or wait till it ripens in the box to send it off to the market. So that is greed in a way, when we see as in a wisdom way, because we've not allowed it to grow. And we've not allowed the nature to give it to us, we have grabbed it. So those kind of acts we must minimize now. So again, we genetically modified, we remove the seeds from the fruits, which is again not right, because that stops our evolving. And the cycle of growth is what? Seed to flower to fruit to seed again. And then this whole cycle continues. So there's continuity, and we are stopping it with all this, genetically modified, removing the seeds. So trying and eating not fruits without the seed, but eat the fruits with the seed is good for us. So what is fruiting? Fruiting means when I'm fully fruited, that means that I am here to serve this nature. My charity work must, really, really go on full force. Acts of goodness, giving, sharing. So in the ancient times, if one had the fruit tree, they didn't just sort of let the fruit fall onto the ground and then say, okay, we're only going to eat few, the rest, let's just put it in the black bag and bin it. So that's the kind of thing people are doing now, because they can't be bothered to share. Now, that is not the way we want to live anymore. We want to be like how our fathers and forefathers were, that all the fruit was shared, street after street, and whoever wanted it, any passerby, they all had. So lots of fruit was exchanged. So this is kind of bringing us together like a compost. All the goodness comes together, and really learning that the garden, inner garden, must be so organized, so that the outer actions are organized, and we are really living like one big community, and accepting all sorts, all varieties, evolving. Some are singing, some are healing, all under the full sun, which is like the soul. And there is grace in action, and there's highest intelligence there, and trusting that masterpiece, and just bridging between the human and the nature. That bridge must be there, which many people think we don't need, but we do need to connect with Mother Nature. So there's dirt there, there's mess there, there's order, there's beauty, there's explosion of color, fragrance, and that is who we are as well. So, just be rooted in self, to come and be patient, to grow, and trust that whatever I'm blooming, and accept it. So time to really look inwards, growing, sorting out, decluttering, and weeding, watering daily, and just allowing it to flower, and not let the seed die before it blooms. So, a lot to think next time you go into the garden. Have a look and really pay a lot of attention to it. And there's a lot of wisdom there, out there. Every plant has got wisdom to show, and let's learn from it. So, hope you enjoyed. Thank you.